Hello, everybody. My name is Sviatoslav Sviatnenko. I'm the founder and CEO of Innovate, one of the partners implementing the 2-year EU-funded project called Seeds of Bravery. And the main goal of the project is to support deep tech entrepreneurs, founders, and startups in Ukraine. This series of podcasts is aimed at speaking to deep tech founders, understanding their stories, what they built, and how they can enter global markets. So our plan is I will introduce a bit the Seeds of Bravery project, and then we'll deep dive into what Lezo is. And Anna is a co-founder and CEO of AI startup Lezo, and our podcast is more about Lezo than anything else. So in terms of Seeds of Bravery, this is a project funded by European Innovation Council, by European Commission to support deep tech ecosystem in Ukraine. It's a 2-year project that is focused on supporting deep tech entrepreneurs, innovators, and we have the grant financing available for startups like Lezo and in other deep tech industries. And also we have a number of business support programs related to building, boosting deep tech startups and going global for them. So I encourage everyone to go to seedsofbravery.eu to check out details about the program and, of course, apply and hopefully be like Anna in our next podcast episodes.
As a
Yeah,
participant, I totally recommend this program.
excellent. Please tell it once more at the end of the podcast so we'll have call to
Okay.
action. Yeah, so Anna,
Okay, I will.
happy to have you. And let's probably start with a description of what Lezo actually does.
Okay, so Lezo is an AI-powered career platform that matches cool companies with cool candidates, based not on their titles, but based on their skills and their experience. So that we help to find your right person much faster and or your career possibilities much faster and spend much less time, money, and hopefully to make the whole hiring process less exhausting for both sides, companies and candidates.
So, AI is technology that is at the core of your product, right?
Oh, yes. Basically, right now we use AI to analyze profiles and vacancies plus companies so that we could find a better match, but we do not use AI to make a match itself because the matching is based on our own algorithm. It's based on vector databases and semantic search, but AI helps us greatly to create those very deeply and huge profiles of information on each person.
And can you share a story how this idea actually came to light?
Oh yeah, I would really love to tell you that one day I just woke up and I got the idea. Oh, I know how to change the world of hiring, but unfortunately, no, it didn't go that way. So I should probably start a little bit with my experience because I've been working for whole my life, and when I say whole my life, I mean 7 years in creative and tech educational company called Projector. It's one of the biggest tech companies in Ukraine. And I already knew greatly our audience, the need of our students and alumni. And we always thought in Projector that our biggest challenge is to combine education with the career. So we had idea that we want to do something for career development for years now. But it was only last year when I started. I was head of product and I was working on educational part. And it was only last year when I started thinking about, okay, what can we actually do? And it was a path of a lot of research. We conducted interviews, we conducted experiments with, for example, mentor recruiter who was helping a group of people to find their perfect job fastly, but it didn't work. So we also conducted a lot of surveys, and we were trying to find out what can we do. And finally, I understood that the problem is that right now the process looks like looking for a needle in a haystack, because, for example, product manager in one company and product manager in other company will need completely different set of skills and completely different experiences. And it's not only about product managers, but at the same time, a lot of positions and a lot of companies do not even know how to call their positions. And it's all comes to skills rather than names. And that's how I got an idea. And it was also supported by global trends, because I was also researching about what is happening in the hiring world. And there was, for example, a report from World Economic Forum, Future of Jobs report last year, when it will be probably a little bit shocking for everyone, but 7 out of 10 people in 5 years will need to reskill and change their work, because our market will change that much. So that this process of reskilling and searching for new people with new skills will be a constant problem for both sides, actually. And the other trend is skills-based hiring, which is also developing, but right now it's working only when, for example, recruiters, they are learning portfolios and CVs of candidates. They are trying to understand the experience, and then they're trying to get if this experience will match to our position. So we decided to make an instrument that will automate this process and make it faster.
Wow, that's impressive, and actually that's by the book in a way. So customer research, customer development interviews, a good insight on the market backed by reports from World Economic Forum. So really great to see that amount of work that you put in before founding Lezo. Could you tell a bit more what stage you're currently at in terms of activities and your plans?
We just launched officially on the market this February. Before that, we were on the stage of experiments and beta testing, and actually we launched a beta version, which was just a chatbot a long time ago, and it was only to collect the audience so that we could conduct different experiences and try to match them better. And right now, we are passing this stage from MVP into the full-scale product. We just launched in May our web service for companies, and in June, I'm not sure when will this podcast launched, but in June we are launching our version for candidates, so that we will leave our chatbot behind. And also we at the same time are growing fastly. Since the beginning of year, we became much 2 times bigger already. We are also continuing growing like 20% months over months. And our next stages is like to complete our whole service, and then to come back to research and development for the improvement of our algorithm and matching.
Sounds exciting. Do you look at Ukraine as a start to pilot the solution, or you already have plans to go global?
We are planning to go global by the end of this year, and we had to launch in Ukraine because here we have an unfair advantage, which is projector and huge amount of audience, super cool specialists in creative and tech spheres already. So because here we have free audience, we decided to start here, but right now we're working already on our strategies to launch on new markets. Hopefully we will start this process by the end of 2024.
Well, as Seeds of Bravery has a number of programs to support startups actually entering European markets, so we do hope to work with you on multiple directions, helping you to succeed in Ukraine and beyond, of course. Probably the one part of conversations that I would like to have is around AI, because kind of everyone speaks about AI. Maybe not everybody understands AI, but we have some who utilize AI to build great products, to build something that people want. Probably, if we can zoom out to extend, a couple of questions around AI. Would your product be possible without AI, and how do you see the AI revolution that is coming now?
Uh, our product would be probably possible without AI, but I'm not sure that our business model would, because it would be highly operational. We would need dozens of professional recruiters just going through different CVs and portfolios so that they could match manually people and understand manually their skills and experience. And to be honest, a long time before I started with Lezo, when we got those first ideas of career development, their initial idea was very similar because the idea was to match by designers by portfolio, and there would be real life mentors that would estimate level of designer by different, for example, UX, UI skills, research skills, and so on, and then by scoring system match with the right vacancies. But the problem was that it was impossible to implement in real life. The value that we were bringing was not enough to cover all the expenses. And right now we're using AI to automate this process and cover the expenses. And I think it's the main it's not a magic pill actually that I wanted to tell. It's not the magic that AI does. It's something that we actually invented, and AI just helps us to automate it and accelerate it as an instrument.
One of my insights on AI in Ukraine is that it's probably even underhyped in a way, because when you're in a SF in Bay Area, everybody speaks about AI. Every single person, they speak about OpenAI, Claude, Gemini, and many other model solutions companies. Back here, it's more about OpenAI equals AI, and that's it. But nevertheless, would be also interesting to hear your take on how can we boost the interest to AI in Ukraine, whether it's enough, the number of conversations, and the level of conversations that we have.
It's actually a good question because what I understood from implementing, for example, AI instrument for our team, that first of all, most people are skeptical, especially those people that have a technical background. It was the longest way for our team, for developers to start to implement AI in their work more than anyone else, designers, copywriters, and so on. So I don't think that it is possible just to tell everyone use AI and you will succeed. No, but there are a number of ways how, for example, even if there are more products that already implemented AI and they're successfully used just to make life a little bit better, it would help to persuade other founders that they also need it. Another thing is about explaining how exactly it can be implemented. I had a lecture a couple of months before about how exactly can AI be implemented for products and in what cases it can be usable, in what cases no, and when you should decide if you should build your own model at all and when to use an OpenAI. And I think that's something it's about telling more about real cases and not like talking about AI about magic pill, because I think in our area people are just more skeptical about magic pills. But when we talk about it in real life, it would work much better.
True, absolutely. I recently saw a Twitter post that over the last 50 to 60 years, it's been through technological revolutions. First being chips and then semiconductor, second being web and software, everything related to that, and now it's a wave of AI revolution or AGI revolution. Does it resonate with you, these kind of statements?
Oh, of course, completely. And I can talk, for example, about the context of my product, the sphere of my product, which is hiring and recruiting and the job market. And I'm completely sure that it would influence greatly positions, jobs, skills that people need. So it would change the whole image of the industry and job market. But I also know that a lot of people are scared of that. And of course, every change is sometimes a bit scary, but also I think that it's important for us to tell about good scenarios, how exactly it could influence all these fears. For example, in Lezo, we are joking that Lezo is the first AI tool that will not take your job, but that will offer you one. For example, I think that everything will be accelerated that much that, for example, traditional education won't be able to launch new courses like 5-year programs on new skills that are needed, and education will transform completely because it's not anymore about like getting skills to work, but it's mostly about getting a right mindset and skills how to learn things and how to think, how to approach to consumption of the information. As well in the jobs, okay, there will be more skills that would be automated, like, I don't know, checking CVs. I'm sorry for sources, but still, but there will be more tasks for real people to do some more creative jobs and to work with something that, for example, AI produces, or to cover parts that, for example, in a hiring sphere, it's soft skills. Soft skills, it's something that it's extremely hard to automate the screening with the help of AI. You can check hard skills, but not soft one. So maybe the hiring in the future will be mostly focused on understanding the personality of other person. To sum up, I think, of course, right now it's a revolution. It would influence every part of human life, but it's only on our side to accept those rules and to try to imagine how we can move with them.
Right, and obviously AI is accessible everywhere, so I assume you have quite a competition in your industry. How you
Yes.
compete, and what's the secret sauce that you have to be the best one?
It's one of the first questions that we got: what is the difference? And of course, everyone who has access to ChatGPT, it means everyone, can try and build a similar solution, but it's not about the algorithm itself, it's about data mostly, and how you got the access to this data, how you find it, how you get it from user, and so on. That is what makes your product different. And for example, in Ukraine, we have a superpower, which is a huge audience of specialists, and we already have a huge audience that we could taught our algorithm on. We could conduct research and already make some proposals for companies, for first our customers, recruiters, and startups that were interested in our audience. People in when launching on a new markets, we would need to have some different solutions. And we already have idea about how can we make ourselves different from all the proposals. It also comes from the education, and it comes on the focus of our product. We want to become like a unique recommendation system that would help specialists on each step of their career path on how to decide where they can match, how to make their profile better, and how to achieve those goals, so that we are focusing on a very narrow sphere where we already have an expertise that can be scalable. So yeah, if we take like the development of the whole product, the building of this main idea, skills matching, took only 1 month. But to build the platform and this process of collecting users' data, of getting to know them better, of creating a special service for them, it took like 6 months. A little bit less, but still. So it's the biggest problem in it, and we want to cover it.
Yeah, usually it's not always what you sell, but how you sell. Can you also explain a bit the business model and how you plan to win customers and earn money at the end of the day?
Okay, so again, I'm not sure when this podcast will be launched, but we are about to launch our first like normal monetization, which will
Okay.
be pay per post of vacancy. For users, it's going to be like they will have to pay for each vacancy that they post. Also, we'll have special proposals. For example, when you just creating a new company, you will have some free money to test Lezo on yourself and then decide if you want to continue or not. And also we want to support startups. And it's our first, before we got some ideas and we also had some models of monetization, but it was very simple. It was ad-based. Companies already paid us so that we could make their vacancies more, get more audience, for example, with emails, promo, social media, and so on. But we don't want to focus on that because it's not scalable, it's very operational, and we don't like it. So yeah, we're transferring right now to pay per post. And also by the end of summer, we're planning to launch an experiment with a subscription model for companies. So yeah, right now we're at the stage of this pre-monetization.
So no vacation in summer for you, I assume. Quite a busy period.
No, not really. Not really, but I guess like until we got a seed stage, no vacation for me at all.
Right. Maybe I have a couple more questions and probably general ones. First, being a female deep tech founder, how can you encourage and share your experience to aspiring female founders that would be also able one day found startups working in the domain? It's great to see more and more female leaders and entrepreneurs, and would be interesting to hear a piece of advice or encouragement from you for them as well.
I guess my main piece of advice wouldn't be something new, but this credo, teach girls bravery, not perfection. I think this mindset that everything should be perfect and I should know everything to start, for example, my own startup, it's something that stopped me and stops dozens of wonderful women around the world and in Ukraine from starting their own companies. And I changed that. The change of this mindset was very difficult for me. And the change of this mindset is actually it's still happening to me. But when I was comparing, for example, my male friends and founders, they need to have around like 60% of their skills to apply for a job. When we come to women, they will need to have 100 or 102% of skills that are needed. And I think that is the main problem right now to change it, because I cannot say right now it looks, for example, from the perspective of projector courses and educational programs, that the differences of amount of women on different tech and non-tech courses is not that big. Mostly right now projector's audience is almost 50-50 men and women, and it's not about skills, I think. Also, I think that more programs and, for example, accelerators for women and different STEM communities, they also help to improve the situation because they provide a lot of support. I remember at the beginning of this year, we got an invitation on accelerator launched by Set University, and I don't remember who, but it was definitely by Set University. And it was mostly for female founders and co-founders. And just by being in the community of those people gave me so much more confidence and so much more inspiration to keep moving and keep doing something, that I think it's super important to just to participate in those things.
Absolutely agree. Well, probably I would also like to ask you if potential customer or investor is listening to the podcast, how do they find you or your company? How do they contact you?
Oh, that's super easy. We are called Lezo.io. It's that simple. And for example, if you're a company, you can already use our web service, create your vacancies, and find super cool candidates in minutes. If you're a candidate, again, I'm not sure when exactly this podcast will be launched, but I hope that pretty much soon you will also have a possibility to use a web service. Right now, it's a chatbot, Lezo. It's called Lezo, and you can find it on Telegram.
Okay, excellent. Well, it's pleasure talking to you, Anna. Is there anything else that you would like to share or mention to the audience?
I don't know. Maybe I should say again that I'm super excited to be a part of this program of Seeds of Bravery. And it's not only about helping us with a grant itself, but it's also for example, for Lezo, it's extremely important to be in a community of startups and some very cool companies because they are our main audience. And also, it helps us to put some new goals for ourselves and be sure to achieve them because it's not only us, it's also those grant programs that make us achieve those goals. So yeah, I would recommend to everyone just to try your chances and not to be shy.
Well, again, congratulations on winning the program and becoming part of Seeds of Bravery community, entering the program. And from our side, Seeds of Bravery is basically we'll try to provide everything you need for your success. So it would be great to work with you along the way. And thank you, Anna, for coming to this first podcast of Seeds of Bravery.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was great.
Thank you. Well, that's pretty much it for the first time, and subscribe to all the possible podcast platforms, and you will hear us soon.